So that means this will be race 104 instead. Navy in black, brown in yellow.
And Navy coming off a win over Roger Williams in the last flight. Also have a loss to St. Mary's in this round. And that Resail with Yale. So,
Little trivia for you. This is the only matchup where both teams' schools' names are also colors.
wow. That is a fun fact. You get it all here from Chris Love Productions. Color trivia.
If you stay long enough, you do.
If you stay long enough. We haven't had any questions from the viewers in a while, have we? I wonder if anyone's watching.
Oh, they're out there. I think they're just starting to become as mesmerized by this grueling day as we are. Either that or Paul hasn't checked in a while. We're still listening. If you're still out there, leave us your comments and questions in the chat room, and we'll be sure to address them as best we can. We've got just 3 more races, followed by the resale of race 95. So 4 more races in total. The first of which, Navy versus Brown, coming up to the starting line now, with Navy in black and Brown in yellow. One pair, going to be pretty late to the start. Or perhaps the rest of the fleet was just early. If you're just joining us, for instance, Molly Vandemore is asking, why is there a resale? Well, that's because we had just an awesome race in which Graham Landy for Yale had his tiller snapped off on the top leg right after Mark 1. And the umpires decided to throw the black flag. Now, Yale came back. Graham Landy actually won that race, holding on to just the tiniest little stub of a tiller, sitting all the way in the back of his boat while
And
his
rounding,
crew, Heather May,
yeah,
sat all the way forward.
And I'm guessing trimmed both the jib and the main as
Right.
Graham sat on the transom and sailed from 6th at Mark 4 into 1st at the finish.
But despite their heroic efforts, Yale did not win that race, and so it's been decided in the hearing that followed that that race will be resailed as the only fair option to poor Graham Landy and Heather May, who had to deal with that.
So it looks like a good play 2 opportunity for Navy coming off the line in black against the yellow boats, which is Brown University. Not sure what happened on the start, but looks like they've got a 5 and a 6 right off the bat. So if Navy can contain those last 2 boats for Brown, they should have a pretty good look at a play 2 on the first beat.
Take a look at this boat 11 here for Navy, screaming across the left side of the course, closest to us.
And Navy has made a switch sort of midway through the day here and put in Mary Hall, their phenom women's driver. And they've been doing pretty well with her, I'd say. Here's a fun fact about Mary. She's a team race national champion in the Optimist class.
What team did she sail for?
She sailed for Team 4.
Anybody else on that team that we might recognize?
There's a few people on that team you might know. This guy sitting right next to you, also on that winning team.
Well, congratulations for that.
Thanks.
What year was that, Zeke?
2004. I was rather large. Mary had to put the team on her back, as she's doing here again. Drag me around the race course as I sunk in Opti. But anyway, this left pair looks like they're getting pretty advantaged. I wonder if boat 10 has got some balancing to do to get their teammate on the right side of the race course around here.
Those birds are getting pretty close to the camera.
I know we've had some epic seagull shots.
I hope our
How's Reed
cameraman's
doing up there?
okay up there.
Is he still breathing? I wonder if he could catch one.
We'll know if the camera goes up to the sky that there may be a problem with the birds.
What a great job the Reeds have been doing for us all day, huh?
Absolutely. Chris
And
Love
Paul.
Productions Austin office coming through big time, as well as Paul and the USF crew.
Yeah, we've had poor Reed. I believe we're going by Reed number 1, has been up on our scissor lift at quite an altitude for the majority of the day, baking in the sun and not getting many bathroom breaks.
He's lucky it has been pretty cloudy today. I think he would be a fried, crispy
Well, we haven't
something.
heard him respond to any of these last few words, so I'm not sure he is actually still breathing up there.
He's on autopilot.
Somebody should check.
He's just tracking the racing on autopilot right
I
now.
hope he's got some music or something up there. There he is. He's alive. Anyway, so as we were saying before, that left pair did come across. Boat 10 didn't quite get the job done balancing enough, so it's a 2-3-5 for Navy coming into the mark. And we immediately see Brown trying to go play 4. So we've seen a lot of these play 4 attempts here late in the day.
I was thinking that 6th place boat is so far back, I'd be surprised to see it turned on this first mark, but they're going pretty darn slow up there on that second leg.
And, once again, I'm not really sure I understand what Navy is doing here. They're just allowing this pass back to get set up in the back as the 2 and the 3 for Navy continue to sail around the course. The play is behind them, in this rider's opinion.
Yeah, it's not doing them much good. You could see if both boats were right on the tail of the 1, that maybe they think they could do a quick turn high-low and play forward. But at this point, with everybody spread out like this, I don't see
And
what good
here
it's doing.
comes the pass back attempt. Can Brown get it done here at Mark 2? Great. Oh. Great time to be patient here for Brown. That's Mary Hall.
Slipping
And
through.
Looks
And
like Brown gets there, and that's Tommy Fink, I believe, luffing Mary now. I'm not sure. I may have just seen a hand go up from Hall. But either way, a great job by Brown there executing that pass back. And that's what happens. Navy in the 2-3, they're still way ahead, and they just left Mary hung out to dry there. And Brown converts into a play 4.
There's the flag, and it's a green, and so that's going to clear Brown as they head downwind here. 1-4-5.
And Navy still not turning back. I guess they're trying to chase down that 1 as some more seagulls fly into the shot.
Well, you're about to see the reds and the blues back on the course, and that's going to be Stanford in blue, Georgetown in red for race 105 as the fleets cross here. Oh, there's that rotting seaweed smell. So in race 105, Stanford in blue looks like they've got a 2 something.
Among other things.
Definitely a 2. I'm giving them the 2. That's all I can call it at this point. And not last.
And you know what? I'm seeing Georgetown with a 1 and a 6. So seen this movie before. Who's going to be the first to do it? At least, there have been no boring races. That's for sure. Not many, anyway.
No, this race course doesn't allow boring races.
So can the blue boats for Stanford execute a pass back and put that second red boat in last and go play 2? Or will red be the first to do a pass back and go play 4 yet again? So if we check in maybe back towards the leeward mark to see the midshipman versus Brown, I still haven't seen any midshipmen coming back.
Another question we had on our chat room was, can we see from shore without binoculars? Yeah, we can see the windward mark and the finish without binoculars, but we can't see beyond that pier.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Did Navy just sail around the 1?
Anything's possible.
Why did we go away and miss that? We look like idiots now. So something happened, and Brown appears to have given up the 1. And Navy, making us look like fools.
Yeah, we look really dumb.
Has sailed into play 1.
They never doubted themselves that they were going to do that.
I can't believe that happened.
They had a goal set, and they executed, and we missed it. We missed the payoff at the mark.
Wow.
And
I feel shocked. I really feel
Well,
shocked.
something very impressive obviously just happened while we weren't paying attention.
And Navy
And
breaks away into a play one with no ace, as Mary is still in the 6. But if they can hang on, then they will have proved us wrong.
nothing would shock me here.
That would shock me. That's not how you're supposed to do it.
No, it's not what they teach you in team racing school.
Unless Coach Brady for
He's-
Navy has drawn some crazy plays up, some Hail Marys here for the end of the day.
He's pretty unorthodox himself. Well, anyway, there was a question about whether we can see from where we're sitting, and no, we have a pier in our way, so we can't see the leeward mark and we can't see the starting line, but we can see the top of the course from where we are.
I think we recorded that correctly and wrote it down wrong.
Well,
And
Navy.
is it me or is Navy now picking up an ace too? Did Mary Hall sail around that last boat for Brown?
She's getting there. She's not able to tack and cross yet, I don't think, but Yale's not even, or Brown's not even going to wait. They just tack away. So yes, I think they perhaps did pick up that ace.
Wow.
Amazing. And meanwhile, coming into frame left here, we've got the Stanford-Georgetown race after Mark II with that Georgetown boat way out in front, but Stanford's picked up a 2-3-4. And then to top things off, we also have a third race now on the course. St. Mary's in green, Roger Williams in orange for race 106, just coming off the starting line. This is the last race of the day except for a resale of race 95, which will come after this. So race 106, the stopping point for day 2. Tomorrow we've got races 107 through 119, followed by a final 4 round.
Just heard a whistle, and there's an orange boat spinning here on the first beat. That would be Roger Williams taking a penalty turn, and not a fast one.
So back to green and orange just for a second here. Now we've got to split our attention 3 ways. I hope we don't miss anything.
We will.
Roger Williams
Just took a turn, but still have the 1. So yet another 1-6, and you see right there the middle boat for Roger Williams immediately coming back, trying to go aggressively 4. So back at the finish for Navy against Brown in black and yellow. Looks like Navy's sailing across the line in a 1-2, relatively unthreatened, and Mary did pick up that ace. So
Wow.
I'm sort of feeling for Brown there. They sort of did everything right there on that first part of that race. Some great team racing.
Except they let Navy sail faster than them.
And Navy sailed faster somehow. We didn't see how the 1-2, or how Brown lost the 1, but something dramatic certainly happened, and Navy comes away with a big win over Brown. How about Navy?
How about those midshipmen and midshipwomen?
Man. So what's going on with Stanford and G-Town?
Stanford still got that 2-3-4 coming downwind, but starting to get swallowed up from behind. It's looking like Georgetown's prospects for a 1-4-5 are getting better and better as we see that trailing Stanford boat turning back, trying to protect that spot.
How many 1-4-5s are we going to see today?
I love it.
Me too. It's the greatest thing ever made.
Everyone setting up for a mark trap here. As Georgetown spins off the back. Jibing to the inside.
And this is going to shape up well for Georgetown, I think.
$10 says someone gets protested before this mark rounding is complete.
So oh wow.
Yeah, we're just going to have to let this play out here as
Looks like they're
Stanford
still
comes
hanging
around
on.
2-3.
Yeah.
It ain't over yet.
I think Georgetown still has a boat behind, so Georgetown's still looking at a decent play 4 opportunity, but so close to that first group. So in need of a gap from boat 1, I believe Alex Post again with Katia De Silva, the low boat for G-Town. Needing to gap boat 17 hard here. And not quite doing it. We should see jibs luffing. There we go. Georgetown looks like they're almost setting up to double team the 6. And going straight into a pass back is Stanford. Out the back is Post.
They need to
And
do it quick. Georgetown's pushing forward here.
yeah, look to see maybe boat 18 for Stanford start to sail back to boat 2 to commit to that play 2.
There it comes.
And boat 3 for Georgetown now aggressively sailing back.
So everyone reaching toward us now.
So this is a make or break moment here for Stanford as boat 18 does what I think is the right move and goes back out to the right side of the course, not getting greedy trying to go play 1, even though it looks like they could be in first place. We'll see how it shapes up.
We've seen time and time again, you can't overcommit here. Whatever pays on the left side is going to come right back and bite you on the right. So I think the conservative play here up the middle.
I think boat 18 is
good.
too far away from that furthest course right Georgetown boat.
Yeah,
And now
but
here's a dial down.
They almost lost 3 there. They needed to check in or else they were going to lose that 1.
They don't want the 1 though, if they're staying play 2.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I thought they were play 4 this whole time.
So now everybody in tight quarters. 2 boats getting vulnerable, blue now getting vulnerable to the right as now there's a jibe out by Stanford.
Weaving through this St. Mary's Roger race. Well, now everyone's calmed down a little bit.
Yeah, but I have no idea who's where.
Now. And they all agreed to go right.
So Georgetown could be looking at a play 1 opportunity with no ace if 7 can pin 18 and get 8 through into second. So let's see how long 7 can keep that pin. Is that even a 7 or is it a 1?
That is a 3.
Oh, it's a 3. Perfect.
Yeah.
See how long 3 can hold 18 in that pin over there and get their teammate ahead. And they bail right now. So still kind of unclear. But looks like at the moment Georgetown could have at least a 1-3.
Well, should we take just a quick check into that leeward mark and see how St. Mary's and Roger are doing? Oh, we'll wait for the finish. I didn't realize how close they were. Never mind. Cross the line.
Oh, wow.
Georgetown. Stanford, meanwhile, turns back. We've seen this before.
And here it comes. The dial down or dial up, whatever it's going to be. And trying to duck. And
Wow. Jibing.
both boats
After the-
protesting.
Yeah.
So Stanford may now be looking at a play 2, obviously depending on this umpire call. There's a whistle, and It's going to be a flag on Stanford. So often
Well,
umpires don't like seeing that starboard boat dialing down like that. It's just not. You got to give the port boat room to keep clear. 16.2. So a win for Georgetown.
Georgetown a 1-2-5 over Stanford. Okay, now checking in with St. Mary's and Roger Williams. Most of this race is passed while we were on the other one. But Roger Williams looks okay here with a 1 not last. St. Mary's very much in the hunt. Roger Williams controlling the edge, the right-hand side. St. Mary's working left. Still can't figure out where boat 8 for Roger Williams is going to match up. I think they might be challenging for a 2 here. I think that's what Roger Williams has in mind as they set up for a speed pass back. Yep.
And they've got that ace, so things are definitely looking good for Roger Williams here. And I don't have an updated score sheet in front of me, but I would imagine that these scores are going to be extremely tight after this day is over.
Well, today, or in the top 8, the records are Brown 2-2, Charleston 2-1, Georgetown 3-1, Navy 3-1, Roger Williams 0-3. So this would be a very, very good feeling for them to take a win here at the end of the day. Stanford 1-3, St. Mary's 3-0 up until this race, although it's not over yet. And Yale, in fact, 0-3 in the top 8 overall.
But they have
though,
that resale,
and they do have a resale,
which I think just went into sequence. So, but we should check out the finish of this Roger Williams race as we see again St. Mary's getting leverage out to the left. Roger's still hanging on, but St. Mary's does a pretty decent job chasing up these last beats, it seems, getting leverage out to the side. You can see now that green boat is hipped up and trying to get back to the second Roger boat. Still looks pretty civilized, though, for Roger Williams as they're entering the finishing box here. Looks like still in a pretty comfortable play 1. So Roger's going to get their first win of the day, it seems. Or, sorry, first win of the final 8.
Of the final 8.
And St. Mary's their first loss in the final 8.
So that'll bring Roger Williams' overall record to 10-7. Which should bump them up to 5th. They will stay tied with Georgetown, who just picked up their 10th win. So Georgetown and Roger Williams both tied for 6th at 10-7.
And if we want to pan back to the starting area, we should see our resale. Yale in black versus Navy in yellow, just about to start their race.
So this is race 95. This is a resale of race 95. Yale in black, Navy in yellow. And if you didn't catch it, it was now a couple hours ago. This was a pretty incredible race. Graham Landy getting his tiller snapped off in a collision, sailing the whole race with nothing but a stub of a tiller sitting all the way on the transom. Impressive stuff, but Yale did not win that one. And so the umpires decided that it should be resailed to give everybody a fighting chance. And Navy looks pretty good off the start, winning all 3 pairs. I think.
Sure looks like it.
Unless 10 is able to get a piece of Graham Landy here. And no, he is not.
And Chris Segerblum now tacking on the left. I'm sorry, is that correct?
So I think they may have
That's
changed colors.
Yeah, they must have.
They reversed.
They reversed colors
Okay.
on us, so it's navy in black, Yale in yellow.
Okay, that is not how it was before, but it's how it is now. So Yale has a incredibly good start here, winning all 3 pairs over
They
Navy.
sure do, and look for them to be fast enough to march away from Navy in this stuff with a lead like that. So this is Chris Segerblum leading out to the course left here, and for the screen left for Yale, and that's Graham Landy in the middle. Cam Coleman far right, just bailing off the furthest course right pair, and he'll be trying to grab that ace in the hole like he did last time. And look how spread out all these pairs are here. Looks like 3 individual match races. So tough when it gets spread out like this to know when it's time to balance and when it's time to race forward, as things change so quickly, and just the tiniest little shift in breeze changes your position so dramatically. But here comes Graham Landy with his pair back from the middle. Still looks fine. No need for anybody to be balancing for Yale. Breeze is starting to lay down on us here as we're approaching dusk down in St. Pete here. So boat 12 for Navy, I believe that's Devin Laviano with Lane Morrison. Able to do a pretty good job containing Cam Coleman back there. So no ace for Yale at this point in time, but they are able to get around Mark 1 with that 1-2. Navy's hot on their tail, though.
I fixed the graphics, sort of.
I never even knew it was. Oh, I see. Okay.
Because they
And
switched
that
colors
is
on us.
most definitely not Devin Laviano, but Mary Hall. No surprise that she's able to burn Cam Coleman there. No offense to Cam. So a 1-2, no ace for Yale. Navy hot on their tail. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it.
It's impressive. We should do slam poetry tonight. So Navy chasing several boat lengths there between the 2 and the 3. But if we've learned anything from this course, it's that it ain't over for that trailing team. They did it last race and we didn't even see it.
That's a good point. So as it gets lighter and lighter, Graham is kind of having to sail some extra distance over there, and I wonder if this inside boat for Navy, closest to our camera here, has any little bit of Graham, who's just jibing now. But Chris Segerblom, either way, in a really good position to help. Doing a fine job, staying close and being ready to balance when needed. And there he goes. So seems like Graham Landy might be in a little bit of trouble, and Segerblom sails right back to this first Navy boat, starting to make him wiggle as Landy continues to wing now down the inside of the run and catch up. Still no ace for Yale.
Got that inside lane coming up to the mark.
So yeah, really nice job by Chris Segerblom there, balancing for his teammate Graham Landy coming down the inside as soon as it got a little bit unbalanced with that top Navy boat making a run down this inside portion of the run as we look at it. Textbook stuff there from Yale. But Navy is still right on their transom. And with no ace in the hole for Yale, it's going to be a tight last beat.
Navy spreading it out here. Gonna try to capture those edges and do what we've seen a few teams do today. Get the 1 and the 2 unbalanced and put one of them between one of the Yale boats.
And you notice how long Landy there waited to tack to cover. Typically you see the first of a pair tack right after Mark 4. And that's typically done when you have that ace. So without it, you can afford to be more patient, as you saw Landy there waiting to make sure that he doesn't have any threats to his right immediately by tacking too early. So nice job being patient. And now look for Yale to sort of herd the Navy guys to the outside, balancing back to the middle. So these two pairs now, they are getting pretty separated. So look for one of those pairs to have to maybe think about balancing as they come back together towards the top of the beat. They're about halfway to the finish right now and really, really far separated. And boat 12 now sailing in a seam for Navy right in the middle of the course. So Yale's got to hope that the edges prevail here and that boat 12, who looks like they're actually ripping pretty good right now, isn't able to get in there and break up this 1-2. And there we see Landy now giving up on this left side.
I think he just figured he couldn't hang any longer. He needed to take this ride across while he could.
And now Landy comes back to get a piece. Still ahead comfortably. Nice boat handling there.
That is a truly disgusting sound, Zeke.
Yeah, I'm having some allergies here.
We're going to hit up the pharmacy after this.
I know. I apologize. And this left side is really getting wound up now. And Chris Segerblom, far screen right and course right for Yale, was in second in this one, and he is in second no more. So Landy's got a tough decision to make here, whether he wants to try and stay 1 or it might be time to switch into play 4, as now it looks like the furthest right boat for Navy is probably in 6th. So Yale could in fact be switching into play 4 here coming up to the finish. And there we see Navy starting to sail back to combat the play 4 for Yale. They're going to try and go play 2. And Cam Coleman and Graham Landy should look to combat that by going play 1. So we'll see how this shakes out. Once again, we've got boats sailing downwind on the last beat coming into the finish. As things just get so spread out like that, it's bound to happen. So now, once again, another big dial down here. Here comes Navy. Cam Coleman tries to duck. Yale alters. We've seen that a lot today. Here comes the umpire. I'm not sure they were necessarily in position. And I'm not sure that was legal as per Rule 42, what we just saw there. So I didn't see a protest, but I would imagine there was one. So there could be an umpire call, and it's Navy spins. And assuming that there is no further umpire call, Yale should be pretty solid. Play 1 here with an ace, as Segerblom still has a piece out on the far right.
Yeah, not a lot of race course left here. And now we finally have another.
That's a red flag.
Whistle, and that's going to be on the trailing Yale boat.
So no ace and a lee bow there for Yale. And I'm not sure Landy's ahead.
No, I think he's going to be ducking here. He doesn't have to. They can bounce off.
So we need that pin now if you're Yale, and we get it. So right next to the finish, Coleman able to get a pin on boat 12. Frees up Graham Landy, and now doing an incredibly downspeed tack. Is he in the finish box? Landy looks like he's across the line. And Coleman just pinches over the pin, finishing second. So a 1-2 for Yale. So that will actually be flipped from the result from before. So good thing we had that resale as Yale comes away with a win. As once again, things get hairy there at the top. But a nice job by Yale there, going through kind of all the plays once again and finishing out what was an incredibly mentally draining day for everybody involved. So we are through race 106. We'll have 13 races to complete the round of 8 before we break into a final 4 tomorrow. So lots of racing tomorrow. And scores should be pretty tight. I believe my associate, Mr. Love, Dr. Love, is working on a scores graphic here for you.
Almost got him. We had some variables we had to deal with, but I think I've got it about right, thanks to my good friend Paul here. Let's just make sure we've tacked on all of the changes. You'll notice the online scores are just a few races behind, so we're doing a few things manually.
And you see the umpires wasting no time. They're going to hit the bar, I think, after a much deserved. Coming up on, what? How long has it been? 10 hours? 10 hours the umpire's been out there without a break. Well, I had a little break there in the middle, but long day for everybody. Everybody's got their tents packed up here on shore. And I can't wait for Chris to put this graphic up so that I can go get some freaking Claritin and take a nap.
All right, well, this is, I think, this is my best guess as to the accurate scores. We've got Brown in the lead. Now, see, that even that doesn't, did I get that right? 13-4 versus Yale is only 13-3. Okay, let's reverse that. Pretend I got that right, and you've got Yale in the lead with Brown in second, St. Mary's third. And on down the line. Zeke, what are you seeing here in this scoreboard?
I'm seeing a lot of really impressive, tight racing. You see St. Mary's and Charleston tied in the loss column. Stanford tied with Charleston in the win column. So, I mean, it's really anybody's regatta still for sure. There's nobody that's jumped out to a significant lead. It's going to be all about finishing out this gold round with the momentum. So it's anybody's race.
All right, well, we are just about ready to sign off here. Excuse me. Thanks for joining us, everybody who's been out here today for a pretty darn good day of racing. How many races did we get off today? About 41, I think, 42 races, plus a resale, plus a bunch of tiebreakers. Yeah,
Boy,
we had
lots
a
of
lot of
racing.
racing, and and that wraps it up for the day. We'll be back tomorrow. I don't think they've posted an official start time tomorrow, so stay
Yeah, I
tuned
wouldn't
to
be
the live
surprised
stream.
if they actually move the start time up a little bit, as I don't know that they were anticipating having all these these 13 more races in the gold round, but nonetheless, if we have breeze, should be pretty quick to finish it up and go right into that final four.
All right. Well, thank you everyone who's joined us today on the live stream. We'll be posting the start time. We'll be posting the start time on our live stream page this evening, and we'll be back tomorrow for the conclusion of the 2013 College Sailing APS Team Race National Championship presented by Laser Performance. Laser Performance getting it done for us here with the media. If you like the live stream here, let them know, let us know. And tell your friends. We'll be back tomorrow for the conclusion of Team Race Nationals 2013. I'm Chris Love.
I'm Zeke. Bye-bye.
See ya.